So let's talk first-time buyer fuck-ups.
Not everything is what it seems. A lot of people will sign you up on the promise of getting you finance, but it may not actually ever work if you get the right advice and the right help. It all made sense.
Today we're talking to Adam Orlando, new home advocate, to unpack first-time buyer fuck-ups. Let's get into it.
Right off the bat.
Welcome to Own It, the property podcast. Honest chats about homes, money and investing. I'm Adam Schall, founder and owner of Locale Property Group. Today we're talking to Adam Orlando, new home advocate, to unpack first-time buyer fuck-ups. And today we're recording on the land of the Whadjuk Noongar people. All right, Adam O, before we get into the first-time buyer fuck-ups, tell us a bit about yourself and what got you into the world of property.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had a long interest in property. Being Italian sort of runs in my veins. But yeah, sort of worked in customer service, very high level customer service, some trades, and found myself wanting to do this just to fulfill that void of something that I've always wanted to be part of.
And amazing you've done the last 12 months. You've absolutely smashed it. And if you look at our Google reviews, your name is absolutely everywhere. So well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So you're clearly passionate about helping people get into their homes. What drives that? What's the motivator behind that?
I feel like there's no better feeling than looking in their faces once you've helped them get over a hump or achieve something they didn't think was possible.
Yep.
It fills your soul and it makes you want to help more people. So it's really fulfilling in that regard, and it just never gets old.
No, I love that. Do you have any specific clients that sort of, when you think back to the journey, and ones that sort of warm your heart the most?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's quite a few, but helping some personal friends who did not think it was possible, and just taking a really hands-on, soft approach, explaining everything in detail, and just really highlighting that it's totally possible if you get the right advice and the right help.
Love that. Love that. And what were the barriers that were holding them back?
I think there's a lot of negative press about building. And a lot of information is just unclear. So you find yourself typing things in Google and researching building, and finding yourself on, Facebook groups where there's a lot of negative press. So highlighting the positives in building and the things that are really for the first-time home buyer just makes it, made it a really easy transition into the space for him personally, because, it all made sense, made total sense.
Tell us something people wouldn't guess from your job title, a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm a very keen gardener. I love my plants, my fruit trees, my prized fig tree, grow my own cucumbers and tomatoes in the summer. And I love metal, heavy metal music, hardcore, punk. I grew up around that and play a little bit of guitar. My little son is, just picking up and strumming along. It's a beautiful feeling. Got a beautiful wife and a little boy on the way.
Love it. Tell us a bit about those Italian sausages.
Yeah, full of finocchio. So for all the Italians out there.
Everyone's got a why. What's your why? What inspires you to help first-time buyers?
Yeah, just as we touched on earlier, just making them feel like it's possible, watching the whole journey go from, the initial appointment, or the initial phone call actually, and just making that initial phone call making it have a lot of impact, and empowering people to make a great decision, and then seeing them at the end of that process when they're finally in their house. It's just really inspiring, and makes me really enjoy my job.
Absolutely. And what are some of the biggest barriers people see? Obviously, people have internal barriers and thinking they might not be able to qualify, but what are some of the biggest barriers you find that you can overcome with customers and you feel you're good at?
Sure. Yeah. Like, I guess the number one thing we see is, like, what are your build times? What are your price guarantees? And we can really quite quickly de-escalate that and make them feel at ease when we let them know, hey, look, when we set out our business, we wanted to ensure that we brought builders onto our panel that had things like 12-month price holds, 12-month build times, fixed price contracts, fixed site works, things that really protect the client. So I'm very, very I like to put that forward right at the start, just to put their minds at ease. Hey, like, we've got your back.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't put anybody forward to you that we wouldn't personally build with ourselves.
Love that. And obviously you're very hands-on from a finance perspective as well, and you've got a team behind you helping you with finance. But run me through that process and how you help people that may not have qualified or right on the edge, and how do you make it happen?
Yeah, sure. So we just look at lots of different scenarios. Quite often you'll find the market's hot, right? So people are busy, people in the industry are really busy. They may not have that time to really look at the situation and go, hey, well, there might be a way here. How can we do it? Can we pay down a loan? Can we potentially get a mum and dad involved? How can we structure this so it works for this particular client? So not just scrapping it, throwing it in the bin, hey, we'll revisit it when there's a rate drop. We're looking at, okay, like let's exhaust every option before it's a hard no.
Absolutely. Like time out of the market's the most costly thing. Like if you can get them into the market today, obviously with escalations in price from a build perspective and land perspective, speeds everything. So it's we work really hard to make sure we get them in ASAP.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's crazy, right? Like you will park something up for a few months and then you might get a phone call. Somebody calls you and says, hey, I've just had a new job offered to me and it pays an extra $25K a year. Well, that could be $100,000 onto what you could borrow. So never park it up, always inquire, and anything is possible.
So now we're getting into the meaty part, or the Italian sausage part of the podcast. So we talk about first-time buyer fuck-ups. So we're here to try help people mitigate as many fuck-ups as they can. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
What are the top 3 first-time buyer fuck-ups that you've come across?
Yeah, absolutely. So right off the bat, you might be out doing your research, you'll be online, you'll see a really, really cheap block in an estate and you'll jump on it and you'll make an offer on it or you'll pay cash or whatever the situation may be. Quite often those blocks aren't the best block for you. There might be, if you're a first home buyer, for example, you could encounter things like costly custom designs. You might not be able to have the full utilization on that block. Is there a horrible bushfire allowance that's going to blow your budget? Not everything is what it seems, and it's really important that you take your time, slow down, and if you want a little bit of help, like reach out. We'll help you find the right block that ticks all the boxes and it's going to be able to achieve what you're setting out to do.
Absolutely. On the surface, a block can look great, but like you said, you've got your bushfire attack levels, which can add 20 grand depending on the level.
Wow.
There's coastal allowances, there's noise packages, there could be easements on the block. So there's a raft of things, and there needs to be due consideration. It's one of the biggest purchases of your life, so you need to make sure that you've got someone there that can help you navigate that.
Some other things to consider is like the estate that you're looking in. Is it a private estate? Is there state housing?
True.
There's a lot of things that you need to consider. And enlisting the help of someone who does it day in, day out, has the insider knowledge, has a relationship with the land agents, it's really important for you and it's going to help you make a really, really good decision.
It's a really good point. We work with developers, large, small. A lot of them do an incredible job, but there are some developers that get in, get out. And so they've got 20 lots. They're just pumping out 20 lots. Yeah. They'll sell them to whoever they want to sell them to. They're not that invested in how the estate presents versus, a developer such as Sadley or Stockland. They put significant capital into their estates from an infrastructure point of view, the entrance statements, the trees, the parks, and it makes a significant difference in resale as well, but also just livability because you've got these beautiful parks, you've got these beautiful trees. Whilst on paper, both blocks may look great, and that block in the smaller developer maybe 10 grand less, but when you actually live in the estates, 10 grand is nothing because your home's going to be unsellable compared to the other estate.
Absolutely. Then when you look at, that prime location in the estate, like, over 30 years, what's the 10K?
That's a cracker. So let's go into number 2.
Yeah. So number 2, trusting the wrong person. So you might get someone who sounds real slick on the phone, books you in for that first appointment or even the initial, Teams or Zoom meeting. And then by the end of that first appointment, you're asking to pay like $1,000 deposit for, hey, we're going to go out and sort this for you, pay us $1,000 and we'll make it happen. Well, I don't know that they've done their due diligence, right? And from what I hear and what I see, a lot of the time that's the case. We operate in a way of which we like to empower our clients. So really show them what's possible, get all the information right from day one. And when we come to you with something to present, we would like to think that we've ticked every box and we've made your decision, quite easy.
For sure, and you know what you're getting into. The associated costs, the developer, the builder. We've done full due diligence on what they're trying to achieve. It's not about grabbing some money and then locking them into something and it's too late before you find out. It's about doing the right thing. We're here for a long time and want to make sure we're doing the right thing by our customers.
For sure. And when I hear those things, I mean, I rarely ask who is it. I'm not interested in that. I just like to know, what do you know about what's been presented to you? What have they presented to you? Is there a price hold? Is there fixed site works? what are you actually getting out of this preliminary agreement that they've put in front of you?
Absolutely. Huge one I've seen lately, well, it's been going on for years to be fair, but it's popping up more and more, is just allowances for flooring, allowances for tiling. And there's a set allowance for the home, and it's a very low allowance, and we know that allowance isn't going to be enough to actually finish the home. So they're signing up thinking we've got a tiling allowance in our home, but the tiling allowance is going to tile half their home. So we're going to move in with half the tiles. Another one is crossovers not included. So the site works look like they're cheap, but they're not. Essentially, you've got a driveway that goes halfway up the dirt. You need a four-wheel drive to get onto your driveway. So there's all these small little tips and things that builders do to make the price seem more affordable than what it is. But fundamentally, you're going to need to pay for those at some point.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one of the big ones is contracts. How quick can you get a contract? Now, we know builders are swamped and like they're doing a fantastic job to get out contracts when they are. However, if you see a super cheap builder, but they can't get you a contract for 12 months and you're paying 8 months of interest on your lot, well, that 30K you thought you were saving has now been consumed in interest where you could have been spending that on your home.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're dealing with an untrustworthy person. However, if you're omitting information and not being transparent, well, later on down the line, it's going to leave you very, very exposed. So how we like to operate is everything is visible. Quite often, like I'm guilty of it, I'll just show price books. That's how open we are with our clients. There's no hiding. Client wants a quote or a door, can pull up a quote book. Hey, $1,500. Like show them then and there. So it just creates like a bit of trust, mutual trust.
Absolutely.
Which is very important.
I love that. So thank you. Number 2, nailed it. Tell us number 3.
Yeah, so I think broken finance promises. I think it's something that you really need to take time with these first homeowners and just strip it back, ask some basic qualification questions. You know, sometimes they're a little bit intrusive, but the information does stay in-house, doesn't get shared with anybody. We then sit back with our selection of brokers that we use in-house and work out how are we going to structure this. How does it work? A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people will sign you up on the promise of getting you finance, but it may not actually ever work. People with visas, you know, what's the average wait time for a visa now? 2 years. And you've signed someone up to a package that titles in 6 months. There's a very, very high chance that will totally fall over and you've just, you know, thrown someone's dreams in the ocean, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the heartbreak of promising something and not delivering on it, but also the deposit as well, because people sign up and often they all lose the deposit with the builder. They may get it back with the developer, but it's money down the drain.
Yeah, totally. Like I'm dealing with some people at the moment. They have one of the partners has a visa. Well, I'm pressing the visa agent for an answer. Hey, like, how are we looking? What's going on? What's the situation? And the reason I'm doing that is if we need to opt and go to plan B, well, hey, we're well ahead of the curve now. The land doesn't title, finance is not due. We're already planned, set, good to go. So just, assuring them that there will be an option and we've assessed it correctly rather than just giving you a false promise.
Correct. And to do a proper assessment, you do need pay slips. And obviously a credit check needs to be done as well. And quite often we see customers come in, they've signed up with another builder, they're getting a little bit of the ick, I guess, with the builder that they're dealing with. And they've signed up for something like, great, let us do a credit check, let us start from the start. And we find that the package they sign up for, they actually qualify for. They may be able to achieve that down the track if they get more savings and get a pay rise, but essentially being pulled out of the market on really basic information that doesn't really stack up, and that thing was never going to go through anyway.
Totally.
So important that you get proper structured advice from a finance broker and a team that is focused on actually getting clients to site.
Yeah.
You know, there is a culture out there in the industry of just signing people up and throwing it against the wall, and that's not necessarily a great thing for you as a consumer because they're just taking your money hoping that you might get yourself into a financial position to buy, where we want to make sure that you actually can qualify, do all the due diligence, and if it does work, great, let's move forward.
For sure. And look, I tell my clients, I still want you to have a life. Like if you want to go to Bali next week and spend a bit of time, I want you to be able to do that. So how can we structure this to make it work for you? I don't want you maxing out. If we can come in at the right price and it's happy and you think it can be done, let's do it. But let's not put the pressure on you for something that's not realistic or achievable.
For sure. Yep, they're amazing things to look out for. Love that. Anything else you'd love to add to the mix?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being too indecisive can be very costly. I've seen situations and I've there's a scenario that it's forefront of my mind. These people that could have got into a premium area 3 or 4 years ago for that 5 to 550 mark, they denied, they weren't sure. There was a few minor details that were just holding them back. And that could have been who they were dealing with at the time. I'm not sure. But fast forward, they're now doing not an inferior house and land package, but in an area that was probably a little bit less desirable for them for 150K more, simply because they couldn't make a decision on a relocation of a bench or whatever the case may be. So how I would have attacked that was, hey, let's get you in the market. I get that it's not your dream home. It doesn't have to be your forever home. It's your first home, but build it. You've got the option of potentially leasing it out while you still live at home with mum and dad. There's so many options.
Absolutely. Yeah, entry to market, speed into market is so important. Don't get us wrong. You want to make the right decision, have the right builder, have the right design, right location. But let's be honest, your first home is never going to be the home that you aspire to be in when you're retiring.
Yeah.
So, get into the market, speed into the market, being really strategic with your money, get into the market. And, in a couple of years' time, you may be able to refinance, use that as a rental, move into another, whatever that may be.
Absolutely.
So, I love that. Speed is key.
Totally. And just by being in the market, you are miles ahead of
Absolutely.
the people that aren't in the market. So whilst it might be difficult up front and the first couple of years, they're a grind. Like, we've all been there. But it does get easier. And there is no better feeling than going home to your own home and not having to physically pay a landlord.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being able to get those pets, the walls.
Totally.
Plant your tomato plants in the backyard.
That's it. 4-car garage with a hoist.
Yeah. Cook those Italian sausages and
it.
smell it out. Whatever
Smoke
you need
them
to
up.
do, it's your place.
That's
Love
it.
that.
Absolutely.
Love all those. Any others you'd like to add?
Yeah. So very common one in the industry is people that work away. They have only a very limited amount of time when they're, in Perth or wherever they may be to actually physically meet and do the research. And then they may go away for a week and they're underground, and then they reopen it in a month's time or whatever the case may be. So you take that real delicate approach and really give them the information that makes sense to them, and they are feeling like, hey, this is possible. Like, I can do this. This is great. And then they'll go away for 2 weeks. And they'll deal with Doug in the lunchroom, who 15 years ago bought a, $300,000 house in Trigg, and he's telling you that your entry-level house and land package is too expensive. Misinformation from the wrong people.
Absolutely. People don't have their finger on the pulse from a market perspective. Often people that aren't in a situation on where you want to be as well. People always have a really loud opinion. And the people that cheer you on, generally the people that actually have achieved something for themselves. And the ones that probably haven't achieved what they wanted to achieve are the ones that are probably going to pull it down and tear it apart. So making sure you get the right advice and get people around you that are going to lift you up, encourage you to take risks, encourage you to be strategic with your money. Aligning those people around you that have got your best interests at heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and look, hey, everybody's going to have something to say, and not necessarily everybody is happy for you. So I think surrounding yourself with positive people and people that are in market, there's some great land agents that will celebrate equally as hard as we do for you.
Absolutely.
And they want to help first homeowners. There's a few that come to front of mind straight away. So surround yourself with positive people, surround yourself with a positive builder, a really good customer-focused builder. You just can't go wrong.
Run me through a situation where you've seen someone get burnt, I guess, from the wrong guidance and advice.
Yeah, absolutely. So personal story, some people that I'm friends with, we had some initial conversations in relation to an area they were really keen on. Did our due diligence. We found some great locations, and we found some great, presented some great build options with our panel of builders that were best in market, really competitive, best in market, great inclusions, fixed prices, and really super transparent. I got a phone call maybe a couple of weeks later. Hey, we've just met with X and the price is 30K cheaper. Okay, cool. I get it. 30K is a lot of money for a first homeowner. Totally get it. But give me some info, strip it back. At this stage, I wasn't interested in trying to grab their business and bring them over to Locale, but it was more they're friends of mine. I just want to look after them, and I just want to make sure they get the right deal.
Whatever they're signing up for is real and transparent, and if they
Totally.
get a better deal elsewhere, 100%.
Totally. Have their
Celebrate
back.
that. Yeah.
Have their back. So I asked them some questions. Hey, like, tell me this block, what lot number is it? So I looked at the block, and I sort of knew the number, the block. I knew the figure. I knew what the block had to be for the package to work. They came back and said, yeah, it's this block, and it had a BAL 29 on it, which was like 20 to 30K of extra requirement, a bushfire requirement. And then I asked for the floor plan, and it was almost like an 8.5 design on a 12.5 block, 28 core ceilings throughout, screw-in light bulbs. I don't even know if the thing had running water and power. But once we stripped it back and we worked out that, hey, there was, 3-month price hold, I said, guys, like, you need to do due diligence here. Really go back to them and barter and negotiate. Hey, I'm not signing unless there's a 6-month price hold. What does my elevation look like? Because at the moment, it just looks like I've got a straight brick wall at the front. Do I even have an elevation? Do I have a veranda? What's the situation? And the person that they were dealing with at the time was just one of the, hey, pay your deposit. We'll get it sorted.
Omitting the information, essentially.
Omitting the information,
Yep.
right? And my fear was, I want to make sure the industry has a positive reputation,
Absolutely.
right? Regardless of builder, let's flip the script and let's make it, let's empower these people to make good decisions, because in turn, it'll benefit everybody.
Absolutely. The industry is incredible. It's full of amazing people, and generally all builders are out there trying to do a really good job as well. Obviously, we've seen some challenging times for builders in the last few years, but people aren't naturally out there to be deceptive. It's just people mismanage things, and we've had some incredible headwinds from an industry point of view. But there are red flags generally. You can see when builders are potentially taking on too much business, or leadership changes, or pricing disparities, whatever that may be. Those red flags, especially if we've been in the industry for a long period of time, are pretty blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
So when it seems too good to be true, it generally is. And sometimes people don't want to believe it, but generally, like you said, if it is too good to be true, they're going to get caught out.
Yeah. And I think that's a benefit of what we do here and how we work with our clients. It's really, we know those things. We know which builder is doing what volume, how are their contracts looking, all these.
Are they paying their trades?
Correct.
What's their, we hear from their suppliers. It's a small industry, and if you know enough people in the industry, it does get back to you.
Totally.
So it's super important.
Yeah, and that comes in handy when you're looking for a builder for your client, because hey, X is doing this amount, Y is doing this. Cool, I propose these 3 options.
Yep.
What do you think?
Absolutely. And also an understanding, someone there that's not biased, because we're not going to omit information to try to get a deal from them. If we're competing and comparing 2 different building companies, we're going to be transparent and go, this one has 28 course and this one has 31 as standard, which is pretty incredible. And you probably don't really notice that when you're reading a plan just on surface level, but that's a significant cost, and it's a significant impact as well when you have high ceilings in your home. While on paper and the surface level it looks it's the same, it's not. Cabinetry extents, some builders are very strategic in trimming their cabinetry extents as much as they physically can, which you don't really notice on plan. But if they knock out another 3 square meters of cabinetry out of the home, there's another $5,000 of saved out of the home. So all these little things add up. A 920 front door versus an 820.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many different variables, and if you look at it surface level, sign up really quickly, you think, great, I've got an amazing deal. It seems 10 grand cheaper, but it's not. It's probably got $25,000 less inclusions in the home, so you're actually worse off.
Yeah, you're not comparing apples with apples. Yep.
Love that. So if someone is overwhelmed, don't know where to start, what's your advice on how to get going?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, find somebody that you get the feeling is willing to assist and help you and be in your corner. And that's what we do. So I'm in your corner every step of the way. I don't hand you over to another department. I'm the conduit from day one to when you get your keys, and even after you get your keys. You want me to come over and prune your trees or whatever, I'm happy to do that. But so
cut the dog's hair or whatever.
Whatever you need me to do, I'm there. And I think entrusting somebody that gives you that good vibe up front will really assist you. And put all your reservations at ease and just make it a really fun experience, which is what it should be, right? Like it shouldn't be hard.
Agreed. And it really doesn't have to be hard.
No.
Like with the right team around you, the right amount of experience, the understanding the right pitfalls, we're generally across it, and we've got an amazing team. I'm obviously probably a little bit biased, but we've got so much experience within the team from all walks of life, and we all huddle, and we work so hard to make that experience really positive for customers, but we don't always get it right. The thing is, I'm always willing to jump on the phone. I'll be front and center if something doesn't go right, and we'll fix it. Example, we had someone, it was literally their driveway. They weren't happy with the paving of the driveway. They messaged me on a Sunday. I was on the phone to them about an hour later on the Sunday. It's like, cool, I'll talk to the builder. We can see what we can do about that paving. It was around on like a stormwater connection pit. And within a week, the builder had the paving pulled up, rectified, sorted. Everyone was happy.
Incredible.
Amazing. So
incredible.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So.
Things happen, right? I mean,
absolutely. And the builders, they do an amazing job, the builder we deal with, but they've got a trade, and the trade, everyone's got a little bit of interpretation on how they're going to lay the paving on that driveway. The pit was probably lower than it needed to be, so they had to make the driveway flat and then rake it up a bit later than they normally would. So it was about creating solutions. It wasn't standard practice on how you'd normally lay a driveway, but it gave a better outcome. So the brick paver wasn't to know that. The brick paver did a great job. People are people. There's human error. Things could be, what the site was meant to be and what it was when you got out there. There was variances. So it's about creating solutions.
Totally. And like I tell anybody, hey, if you're in bed at night and it's 9:00 and you're thinking, hey, I want to add a door, just shoot me a text. Bring me up to speed. Like, keep me in the loop.
Absolutely. Don't let anxiety build. Just tell us and we'll sort it out. We don't get offended by if something's not right. We'd rather you proactively tell us. We're not comfortable with something, and these are the reasons why. Tell us. We can't read minds, but we do everything we can to try to come up with a solution or whatever your problem is.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Just keep the information flowing. We love it. We feed off that energy.
So run me through how a customer has a different experience working with us, Locale, versus going out to a display village.
Sure. Yeah. Well, okay. I guess the first point of difference would be reps in display villages. A lot of them friends of mine. Great. But they're dealing with multiple people on a Saturday, on a Sunday. There's so much happening. Whereas with us, it's a little bit more bespoke. I mean, personally, I might only be dealing with 2 or 3 different people a month. So I feel like I can really give them a level of service that warrants a $700K house and land package. I mean, let's face it, right? It's a big price nowadays. So our difference is you have me in your corner, us in your corner, the whole journey. So I tell people I act as your personal project manager. Essentially, that's what we are.
Absolutely.
Right?
Love that.
When you strip it back. So I'm here every step of the way. I don't leave at any stage. I'm Italian, work 7 days a week. So I'm here. I'm here around the clock. That's been instilled into me from a very young age to respect people, give a high level of service. And our team is exactly the same. Like, in my time here, I've sat on so many meetings with just about everybody that works here, and everybody is reading from the same book and preaches in the same manner. So we are very, very customer focused, customer centric. We work for you and not the builder. Although the builders are not only on our panel, but they're our friends. So we have great relationships with them. So I just think it makes for an overall better experience if it's, your first, second, third, whatever the case may be.
I love that.
Home.
And like you said, super important. We represent the customer, but we have those deep relationships with the right building companies as well. We do a really good job for them and how we structure our clients and provide them to the builder. And we become an essential part of their business. We supply customers to the builders, so they need us. We provide their volume to them. So if we have something that goes wrong, we have a customer that hasn't got the right experience, we can pick up the phone to the owner, the general manager of that building company, and go, hey, this customer's wobbly. We need some help here. Sort this out, which is what was that outcome with the driveway. Call them, sorted. General manager, bang, sorted. Which, if you're a customer going through direct to the builder, you have to go through so many layers, and they don't necessarily have that direct conduit with people. So super important.
I guess we also want to be memorable. We want clients to walk away and be like, hey, like I dealt with Adam, or I dealt with Sean or Brendan. I dealt with a guy who not only did I have a good experience with, but built a good relationship with. It's funny, right? Like I was speaking to my dad about it the other day. Hey, Dad, like who'd you build with? And he told me who he built with. And I said, hey, well, it's only like 4 years ago. Who was your rep? He goes, I don't fucking know. And I was like, well, Like they mustn't have made a
No,
great
it's transactional.
experience,
Yeah.
right? So, I want people to have a good experience and invite me over for dinner or, whatever the case may be, like
Sure.
post build. So you want to build those long-term relationships. Otherwise, like you're right, it is just transactional. And like, what are you actually doing?
Love that. We want to be a partner for life. So whether they want to build their second home or if they want to buy an investment property through our system around Locale Wealth, if they want to have a refinance through Locale Financial, we're here. And the only way they're going to come back to us is if we do a really, really good job and we're memorable. If not,
Totally.
we're just hurting ourselves. So, we have to put our money where our mouth is and do a really good job, and hopefully customers come back to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, we want to be our customers' property partner for life.
So when you do go and visit a display village and you interact with one of the representatives of, the certain building company who owns a display home, well, they are going to tell you that their product is the best product and they have X build times and whatever else is on offer. And like, sure, I get it. Anybody would do the same who are in the, you're feeding a family or whatever the case may be. So you're not necessarily going to get necessarily the information that you need to hear. You're going to get told what somebody potentially wants you to hear.
Correct.
Just try and seal the deal, get you over the line. That's cool. But here we've got multiple options and insider knowledge.
Absolutely. And look, we have such a blend of where our customers go to. There's so many different builders on a different panel, and there's 1 month, one builder may do really well. The next month it might be another. And it all comes down to buyers' profiles and what's best suited to them. So that shows complete neutrality. Like we actually want to put a customer with a builder that's ticking all those boxes.
Yeah.
Some people may want a higher spec home, and there's certain builders that offer incredible value for money in the bigger home space, but some people may just want a really small entry-level home just to get into the market, not have a huge mortgage around the neck. A different building company is going to be more suitable to them, probably lower specification, but still an incredible building company, smaller home designs that are more competitively priced. That's best suited to you.
For sure.
So there's not one size fits all.
Absolutely.
No matter what you're told when you walk into a building company, they're going to go, we can do everything and we do it all. It's not true.
Yeah, totally. You're definitely right. Like some builders have strengths in different aspects. And we do that. Like we'll show them here's our selection. Yeah. What would you like to do? Let's work towards what you want to do.
Correct.
What suits you best.
Whilst there can be negative stuff about the industry, what's something you find your customers find a positive surprise and they enjoy about building a home?
Yeah, so there's quite a few things, but I guess I'm going to use a situation that happened just a couple of days ago. I found some titled land for some beautiful clients up in Tujay, lovely people, and we spoke to said builder who they really liked the floor plan of. We had a bit of a discussion, and said builder 2 weeks later have already got a full costing compliance sketch and pretty much ready to go to contract.
Amazing.
So the clients were just blown away. They were organized as well. So I was able to say, hey, look, we've called in a favor. They're going to give you a super quick contract, but I would love you guys to be organized with what changes you would like to make so we can push this along and get it happen for you guys, right? Because you've only got 60 days. So let's make it happen. So our finance team on it, builder on it. The people are just like, this is fantastic. Yeah. And we really want to drive that home. Like we'll help you in any capacity and we'll make sure it works for you. So really, really surprised that, there's a builder that's been willing to work with us, and they're a big builder. They're not just doing 3 or 4 a month, but they were good enough to really push this for us. And then I guess people finding out that they can actually build, I had a lady who had a situation where she spoke to multiple people and they were sort of throwing figures out there and saying, no, this isn't going to work. But with some strategic planning and some consultation from our finance team, made it happen.
Wow.
Got her a home, and I had to keep telling her, this is happening. Like, you can do this. And she was like, no, it's not. And it is. It's happening. This is going to work for you. And the face, they're just spitting out that she's going to be able to come home from her swing in summer and walk her dog to the beach. How good.
Incredible. Yeah, that's life-changing stuff for them, and it's why we love what we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Changing people's lives. Love that. So before we wrap up, give us one golden nugget, golden rule that first-home buyers should live and die by when buying their first home.
Yeah, so trust your gut. You'll know when you're dealing with the right person. You may have had multiple conversations. You may have been up really late at night after a fight with your wife or husband, trolling Facebook, and you see a house and land package ad and you click on it and you enter your details in and you've spoken to 15 builders, but you know when you've spoken to the right person. They'll resonate with you, just like dating, right? They'll resonate with you. You'll feel that they have your best interests at heart, and that will make a really, really nice journey. I mean, you're going to be with them for anywhere from 12 to 18 to 2 years, right? Worst case scenario from start to finish. So you want to make sure that you've got a really nice foundation in that relationship. And I think if you get off on the wrong foot, it will never end well. So trust your gut, ask heaps of questions, pepper us. Like, questions are free, and that's what we're equipped to do. We're equipped to answer your questions and put your mind and your heart at ease.
Absolutely. There's no question too big or too small. We love them. And again, we never want to be omitting any information. Obviously, there's so many different variables in building, and we can never talk about every single nut and bolt.
Sure.
We obviously talk about whatever's really important and pressing for you to know. But if there's something that is a burning question that you have, throw it at us. We'd love to answer it.
Totally.
And there's no question too big or small. And if we don't have the answer, if it's a really curly one, we'll go talk to the builder and get the right answer.
Yeah.
We'll talk to the finance team,
Definitely.
whatever that means. We'll call the Shire. We've done that in the past.
Yeah.
So whatever we need to do, we'll be there for you.
Yeah, very solution-based. Like, you want to be working with somebody who has your back and is solution-based. Things, as you keep mentioning, things happen, right? But how can we fix that? How can we repair that? And as long as the relationship's not strained, you can generally come back from anything.
So that's a wrap. Thanks so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing your first-time buyer fuck-ups.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
So if you're curious or thinking of building and don't want to learn the hard way, that's what we're here for. So click the link. We'd love to share more.